Hello and welcome back. We've had a false alarm this evening, so apologies for that. I've been talking to myself and nothing's been broadcasting. So let's see, I'm sure I'll have some people come and join me. I'm just going to start all over again. I've cut some card for you and cut it again. So let me see, that's telling me I'm live and see who's about. Anyway, I'm going to be using this season. I'm going to be using the Trucking Along bundle. This is an online exclusive and it's a Christmassy themed one, and it's got loads of loads that can go on the back here. So loads of loads. So we have Christmas trees on there. We've got presents, gifts, first and second generation. So these can stamp on top. Got palm trees, and I think that's a surfboard, and some presents and some flowers and different things like that all go really nicely. So let me get that across down there to you. So this is the Tracking Along bundle, and there are all the component pieces that we're going to be using. A couple of those this evening. Okay, so that's where I'm starting now. I'm going to put those over to one side. So I'm going to be making a diorama card. I'll just move up there. I'm going to put that one because this is all come down. I'm going to put that one and that one, that one. There we go. I'm waving at you in the corner now. All at 2 and 8 because I've just done this all once already. So my cardstock this evening is going to measure. I'm going to do the 5.5 this way on the whole sheet of paper. So I'm going to do 5.5 first, and then I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to be cutting at 4.25. We've got one heart on there, so I think somebody's actually watching with me. Hi, lovely to see you. Hi, Jane. Guess what I'm making this evening? So this way we're going to go 4.25. I'm just saying I've had a false start this morning. I have, this evening, sorry. I've had to stop. I was talking to myself and nothing was working. Hi, Anne. Hi, Angela. Lovely to see you. And Lynn. So I have 5.5 by 4.25. I'm just going to score these, both edges, the right and the left. I'm going to score them at 1/2 inch and 1 inch from both sides. Just checking my measurements there. And I'm using the right hand side because it's much easier to be able to hold your card. So these measurements are over here, and they can often be forgotten. So if you've got 1/2 inch here, and I'm trying to hold my card and get that down as well, it's balancing and falling off the end. So use these bits this side. So that's one piece done. I'm bound to have another one there, 5.5 by, oh, that's 4, so that's not the one. Just take the one that I did before you joined me as being the second one. So that's the right size, and I'm already. So we will pick up the machine, and we're going to die cut a circle in the middle here. So I've got my cutting plates on here. I've got the shim in there for dies. I've got the cutting plate. I'm going to place one of these on here. I can see the score lines either side. You probably can't on the camera. I'm using the stylish shape dies, I'm sure. Yes, stylish shapes. These have been around a little while and they have held over into the current catalogue. So I'm going to place that in the centre, and I'm aiming between the two score lines this way and the top and bottom to be fairly even that way. Okay, it doesn't have to be measured, it doesn't have to be that precise. I need my other cutting plate, which I have put somewhere very safe around me, like there under the trimmer. So that can go on the top to make the sandwich, and then we're going to cut that through. Jane, you're having a laugh. Oh dear. So Jane's on here with me. I did say I'd probably do this. We're doing different designs, but Jane had this idea she'd like to do a diorama. So we worked through it, and we've made one together, and we've got some great ideas, haven't we, buddy? So this piece, as always, it's got a lovely stitch die on there. I'm going to put that aside and save that for later for another project. I'm going to put this back with the die set over there, out of the way. So I'm going to score these edges on here, these pieces. I want to score one away from me and one forwards to me, and I want those to be bone folded. Okay, so you're going to end up with a shape like this. So I'm folding this one from the back forward and then this way again. Okay, so that's both ways. So there is my start of my diorama card. Okay, now this one's going to be scored the same, but it's coming the other way. So it's coming inwards first and then outwards. okay, which kind of, yeah, goes the other way, but this one will sit on top like so. Okay, so inwards for the back, and then torn, and then turned down, sorry, so like so. Now that's the front and that's the back. Okay, we'll leave those inside of camera for a little while. I seem to have an abundance of green card here now, which is funny, but never mind. So for the back, we're actually going to attach some snowbanks in here. So I want to measure the space between these two, and I think I said that was 3.5 in there, I think, earlier. So I can't see the edge line of my ruler, but that's 3.5. So 3.5 is my ideal width, this one. So as always, I have my scraps here, don't I? So I'll just bring those on camera. And I've got a piece sitting on the top, ironically, that was just by accident. I threw some more in there today. So 3.5. I want to come underneath the 3.5. So I want to be, I want to be a tad just underneath there, quite a little bit underneath. You're allowing for these two creases. All right, you won't be able to fold those over if it's not short enough. So you want a really good chunk inside that, but not too far. So that's going to fit between the two score lines. Okay, and then my other piece, I'm going to have to go on the back of this one, and I'm going to make that just, that was 5.25. Our width is 5.5. I want to go 5.25 by about 1.25 inches. Okay, what we're going to be doing is making some snowbanks. Oh yes, who have we got here? So I haven't made a diorama here. Hi Gillian, I just look and see who else is on here. So 5.25. Oh, that's a little bit short. Hey, we like using our scraps, don't we? So I have so many in here, but I'm just not going to have the right width, I think. Let me just see what I've got. That's a bit, that's not going to be 1.25 inches, is it? No, that's barely my inch. So I think for once I'm going to have to cut into a bigger piece of card. Perhaps, yes, there's not going to be little bits in there. So let's just grab a little piece. What have we got in here? That'll do nicely. Okay, one of those pieces. So I'm still using smaller pieces. Okay, so I'm going to cut this to 5.25. Okay, and take that bit, that goes back in the scraps. And I want it to be about 1.25 inches. I'm going to aim at having this just above here, just above the inside of my circle. So I want about 1.25 inches. Okay, and I will just keep that fairly straight, although it really won't matter about the if it's straight or not. So another tip while I'm on here, hello Anne down under, just while I'm on here, I don't know if you can see my little tuft in there, the little dust in the track. Now I normally use this by just grabbing a scrap of card, so one of those tiny little pieces in here like that, that's a bit bent, I can't use that piece. So when you've got fluff in here, just run it up and down and flick it out. So here I'm going to get rid of all of that and just flick it out away from the here and just blow it. So that just cleans your cutting track. If you've got odd pieces in there, it really won't give you a very nice cut. Just get those all out of the way. Okay, so that's ready for the next cutting piece. It can go in the bin. So this is my piece for here, and that's my piece for there. So how we're going to do this, normally with dioramas, they're going to attach together on here at the end. Okay, and so we're going to have them like so. I've got a bit of a shadow on there, so that one's going to come from the back, and then this one will come from the front. Okay, I am just going to attach on the outside edges, and I've got a bit of a trick with this one. I think it's fairly unique, so I'm going to play with this one. I'm going to just tear along here and make some snowbanks. Now, the best way to make your snowbanks is to have your piece of card that you want facing forwards, and then take the end here. It's better if you've got some nails just to get it started. And you're just going to tear along here, and you want to get this fluffy edge. I don't know if I can really show you on here. Hopefully it'll focus in. I'm tearing it forwards, and I'm trying to get some fluffy bits. This is your snow. When you get snowbanks, they're not going to be pristinely cut straight. So you're making it all nice and wiggly along there, but at the same time, you're seeing that little fluffy edge. I hope you can see that on the camera there. Okay, so that's going to sit inside here. It wants to be just raised up a little bit. Just the same. And we're going to have exactly the same, we just got a different size. And we're going to tear this one towards us as well. and we're going to have it fluffy. Okay, the fluffy edge is your snow. Snow doesn't fall evenly. Hi Angela. So there's another nice fluffy edge along there, and then this piece does go in the bin. Okay, so that's going to go on the back there. Now we're going to handle this one first. Because I want this to be attached on here, I don't want it to be anything in the middle here. I don't want to attach it there at all. But when the card is closed and goes in the envelope, it must attach on these two edges. All right, so I'm going to bring this up just a fraction from the bottom here. Okay, I hope you can see that quite clearly, I think, can't you? So I'm going to take my Tombow and my tweezers, wherever they've gone, over the other side. My tweezers. So I know that my fluffy side, we're face downwards. So my fluffy side is down and the front of the card is down. So I'm going to put a little tiny bit of Tombow on this edge here. Okay, just a little bit in there, spread it out, and a little bit on that edge. Just right at the very edges. Okay, then this is going to be placed down. I'm going to do one end first, there, and I'm coming up just a little bit from the bottom. Okay, just so we can see it just above in that circle. Making sure it's kind of straight along the bottom here, but we don't need it showing on from the bottom of the card very much. So I'm going to stick that one down. It's flat at the moment. If you've seen dioramas before, this might be a different way of making, but I think you might be pleasantly surprised. Now this one will fit on here exactly the same way, so I'll leave those two pieces there for now, and I'm going to turn this one over so you can see what it's going to look like, and that's going to be our diorama. Okay, on there. Now I need to grab my trees because we're going to do some nice pieces with the trees, and I forgot to get those out this afternoon. So let me just grab those from the shelf. So these decorative tree dies, you've seen me use these before, I know you have. There's lots of pieces in here, so we might even try and save a little bit of time and use some of these pre-cut. So this beautiful set here, we've got a base tree, okay, and then we've got some trees inside there. Now the height of this one, if I just take one of these images out. Hi Susan, nice to see you. If I can get into this packet. It's just going against me today, isn't it? Trouble with lives. It's the luck of the draw. So I have got a nice glitzy one behind there, which is good. I will use that one, I think. Oh, could just use the top of that one. Let's tip them out. Okay, pop that over there. So there are my trees. I'm just going to pop them away out of the camera and just see what I can use in here. I don't really want to use the same colour in the background because it might not show up very well. So those ones can go. There is a filigree one there. We have that one. That's about it really, they're the same colour. And we have this one. So we could put that one over the top. We could put this one on that one. Like so. We are going to have the truck in front of it, you see, so it's not going to be all... But that's not a very interesting one, is it? This one, we're not going to see, this bottom piece is where the die didn't cut through properly, so I've got some of the white papers from the back here. But if I can disguise that one under there and cover up some of that depth, it's going to look absolutely fine. So I think I might go with that one actually. So get rid of all those other pieces. Excuse me. Got a bit of a froggy throat. So I'm going to... Oh dear. So I'm going to stick this one down and I'm just going to go over some of the larger areas. My eyes are watering now. You just hate it when that happens, right at the inopportune moments. So I'm just going to get that started on the adhesive for this evening. So I'm just touching this on the back here, just so there's tiny little bits just running along there. And obviously this filled in piece won't matter at the bottom. Okay. So I'm going to take my scissors, my tweezers, and I'm going to place this one behind, roughly behind here. So I think I'd like that one to go there. So we're looking about that sort of position. Oh no, this position. Put that on there. This one also is going to be raised, you see. So this one will then go over the top here. and that's going to sit there. I would like to put that on some foam pads though, so let's bring on the pads. So I'll take those ones out of the way. I'm going to throw them on the floor so that they're out of the way. Okay, I'll pick them up and hoover tomorrow. So one in the middle and one over here. There we go. Catch up on the start. I was late, Marilyn. I was talking to myself. I was on a bit of a, David came through and he heard me just as I was just trying to restart it. So he said it's not working. So I'm going to pop that one on there. Now, because this is raised, this needs to be raised as well. But the idea is we're creating dimension with the diorama card. So I don't need to do any of this area here. I just need to do a couple of little pieces there and some down this side. So the big ones I'll put on here. All right, take those off. Now I've got a hole in there. I can put those there, can't I? And then I'm going to use some of the smaller ones on that side. So I'm going to pick up some of these. We just need a tiny little bit there. Okay, so a couple there, and that will be enough for us. So put those out of the way. So then this one, I'm just going to rest this over the top here. Now I'm coming in the same distance as I did before, so I'm just going to place that along the bottom. So we've got the tree poking out the top, and that's going to look lovely, okay, like so. Now with this second piece, what we've done here is we've folded these lines. Now you might think this is not going to work because it's folding the wrong way. We're only going to adhere these side pieces here, okay, and here. We haven't got our truck done yet, so we're not going to stick it together just yet, but that is the idea of a diorama card. Okay, so it's going to sit like this. Didn't know what a diorama card was. Oh, Marilyn, you can make one when I see you next. And then this is going to fold flat to go in a card. So when the recipient takes it out, it's going to bounce up nicely. Now what I've done here, by my front piece, I've left this so it's free. So you can shape that so it can come towards the front. You can push it to the back, it can go half and half. But I thought that was a bit of a unique way. I've never seen anybody else do like that. Okay, we're also going to have our truck. So the truck is coming next, but I wanted to get this bit done so that I could show you the basis of making a diorama card. It really is not that difficult. Okay, so you'll be able to see this from the front. This one on the back is fixed, but of course it can move like a mouth. Okay, so but it will fold flat to go in the envelope. This one is fixed on the back. Okay, so that's our two sections. So if we leave those for a second, I'm going to grab the some white card. My truck. Now for this one, I've done the outline of the truck, and then I'm going to infill the truck. Okay, so I'm going to take my I'm going to use cherry. I just wondered if I wanted the outline in black or not. Let me see. I think I'm going to do it all in red. So both pieces are going to be in red. So let's do the outline first. I'm going to tap that lightly on there. And then we're going to pop this on here. Okay, once. And lift that off. I've got a little bit missing up there, but we can fill that in with this piece. Now, if I had my piece of scrap here, some measurements on there, that won't matter, will it? I'll just fold that out, make it nice and clean piece of paper. So if I take this out, I'm going to ink this whole solid image up. It's quite a juicy ink pad, this one. So what I'm going to do is I am going to stamp this one neat onto here. Okay, so I'm just going to have to get in front of the camera on this one. If I peel this one out of the way, I can see a little bit better. So I need to be directly above it, and I do need my glasses on. I won't get that lined up otherwise, will I? Okay, so sorry if my head's in the way. I'm just looking to see where that fits into that outline image. Okay, hope for the best and come down. I think we're there. It's hard to see through when the stamp is stained. Okay, it's only stained from lots of use. Okay, so there is my truck. We have got that little bit off, haven't we? So let me try again. It's because the stamp is stained and it isn't see-through anymore. So I'm going to try doing it the other way round. Try doing this one first. Leaving space for the wheels. Okay, so that's that one. Maybe I didn't ink it all. Make sure the top is got as well. There we go, that one's perfect. And then I'm going to stamp the other one. Take that off. I'll put this back on. Okay. I've got some ink on here, so I'm just going to wipe that with my chamois or a cloth. And that's smearing everywhere. So pick up that stamp again. Because the red pigment is really, really strong, it's quite hard for to get the stamp so that they don't stain at all. So it is tricky to line them up. But if you've got your stamp positioner, you can get it right by lining it up and trial and error, and then you can make sure that you use several at the same time. So this one might be easy working at the wheel arches. So I'm going to go for wheel arches this time. But it is very red, so that with the red ink, it really isn't helping me much. There we go, and we have a good truck. There we go. So we'll keep that one. Okay, so we're going to do this up before we stick our elbows in it. I'm going to cut that one out of the way because that's not good. And then I'm going to cut this off here just because I need to get to the punch. Okay. So we've got a little technique I've done with this. I don't know if any of you with me that have seen this before, but I will be sharing with you. I have got both my smoky slates, I think. A smoky slate, dark smoky slate, yes, and light smoky slate. I'm going to use this to colour in my wheels. That end's been a bit used and abused. So I'm going to try this one. There we go. That's a nice grey smoky slate. So I'm just going to come in closely so you can just see me. All I'm going to do is just to colour in the wheel up. The one before, I'm just going to come in round here and the tyres. Okay, and then the centre of the wheel. It's up to you which pieces you want to colour. This isn't the best lining up here, but like I say, if I was doing lots of these, I would actually do it on a Stamparatus. Okay, so like so, and you can do a little bit on the steering wheel, just come around there, and a little bit of frame around there, around the window if you like. Okay, just play with it and get to the finished image that you like. Obviously I'm on live today, so it does make it a little bit more pressure to get it right first time, which we try to succeed, but hey, don't always. Now the next tip is the fact that this is going to come in here. I can't get hold of it, so I'm going to go to my post-it notes and I'm going to grab a post-it note off here. I say that post-it notes are an important part of your stamping materials. Basically, you can stamp it where you like. I'm going to place it in the corner so it's stuck on there. What it's doing, it's giving you a handle. Okay, so the handle is now coming into the punch, and you can maneuver it around to where you want it to be. So I'm exaggerating a little bit. You're just going to get it in the grooves and then turn it around, and you've got this to hold while you line that up. Okay, so I aim for the two wheel arches at the bottom here. Okay, so we have those. When we think we're lined up properly, I've used my handle here. The wheel arches are in there perfectly, so it should be even Stevens, and everything else should be lined up. So I'm going to just punch that out, and there is my image. Okay, so I'm just going to do that one. Now I've realised what I'm going to do here. I'm going to leave this attached. Had I done this beforehand, I have got this technique I was going to do was to use my parcel tape. So this is on a roll for my packing my parcels, but I do have the sellotape just loose as well. So just raise that up so I've got a cutting blade. And now I'm going to put this over here. I should have done this before I punched, and then that would all be in one piece. But I'm going to pop this through like so, pressing it down as I go, making sure that it's trying to get rid of any ridges. Okay, and we'll just stamp it, punch it again. All right, it's still on here, out of the way. On both sides they can go. Okay, so you don't want it to gunk up inside your punch, so just stick those down. And there we have, by putting the wide parcel tape over the top, we've actually got a glossy paint on that. Oh, Gillian never heard of it either. Okay, hi Jane. the other Jane. So this one is now very, very shiny. I should have done this before I punched it. So just take that step out and just line it up back in your punch again. So I'm going to aim for the bottom here on the wheel arches as I did before. Okay, but I'm now punching through the packing tape as well. Okay, so we're just going to get that all nicely lined up. Take your time to get it all even so you get a nice finish, and then punch it. Okay, and that will give you, there's the rest of our image. That can go in the bin. The post-it note can just go back in the box and be used again. You know, I like to recycle. So this is all now nice and glossy. If you want to, you can just rub your bone folder over there just to make sure you smooth out any wrinkles. Okay, and there is our van, our little truck. Can you see that? Oh, I need power. Okay, let's swap that over and we'll go back in here. There we go. We'll switch over to that one. There we go. We're not going to run out of power. We're just juggling between two devices. Okay, so there I am ready to go. Now this one is going to be on the inside here. We're going to put this on the inside, but we're going to decorate the tree load first. So that's going to come on the inside of our diorama and then behind, in front of that one. Okay, so you know where it's going to go. So we're going to leave that there for now. And now I'm going to work on the parcels at the back. Because I've done some of this ahead of time. Just get rid of that and rid of that. My desk looks like a tip when I'm in the middle of doing a live, especially when I've got things ahead. And I had a little pile of bits here somewhere. I had some lovely little pieces already prepped. Hey, but we might have used them on something else. We might have used them on that one. Okay, that's what I was going to show you. There we go. That's for that cart, isn't it? So what I'm going to do for this one, I'm going to pinch the parcels. So what I've done here, I'm going to show you both versions and quickly do one for you. In my scraps of my soft sea foam card, I've got this one. The parcel's already lined up on my blocks here. So I'm going to just show you, but I've already fussy cut it round. You can do it with red or you can do it with the green. It's entirely up to you which you prefer. But I like to have that one this time. So I've got a couple cut there ready for you. So I'm going to show you quickly how to do it. You're going to do exactly the same as we did with the tree just now. We're going to stamp this in the mossy meadow. We're going to stamp that onto the green card. Okay, so that image is there. Then we're going to take this one, put the glasses down. I like to stamp it off, so I grab that scrap of paper again and we'll just stamp it off on there first. And then this one will come lighter on here. So again, I need to have my head right directly over those stamps, line them up, okay, where they're going to go, and press that one down. Okay, and there we have our little two-tone effect on our presents. Can you see that okay? Oops, come on, focus camera, there we go. So that's just stamped that infill pieces on those. Okay, but I've already done the job and cut that one out, so I'm going to use this one. You don't need to worry about the bottom because the bottom is going to sit in the back of your trailer. Okay, so I want this one to come in the back there. Okay, there's my presents. Now we do want on here, so let's go back over here. We're going to put some dimensionals on the wheels, taking them off as I go. One there, and this one here wants to be along the top. Okay, the reason for that, I'm going to balance this one on here. Might seem a bit confusing, but honestly it's a really easy technique once you master what you're doing. Simple scoring lines. So this one, we're going to put these presents, I'm going to glue that bottom line there along the top of the truck. So that's actually going to sit in there like so. And then I'll press that down. So that's actually sitting on here ready. So if I pick that up on my tweezers, okay, I'm going to place some Tombow on the back of this because this is already raised. So it'll be the same level as these dimensionals. Okay, so that piece wants to be stuck down. So we're going to place that in the diorama piece here. So I want that to come down from the top. I want to just make sure that he's sitting so he can be seen easily. So he's going to be sitting on there. Of course, I don't actually need the glue on there now, do I? I've put the dimensionals on there, and I think he wants to be the other side actually. Let's just gently pull him off. I think we need to place him on this side. So this one's going to come over the top. We want him to be visible. Maybe place him there, because he can be going through the snowdrifts, can't he? Okay, so I think that one, there he's stuck to the back, he's raised there, then this one is going to come over the top there. So you can just see him there. I think we might have to just tweak that just slightly. Now where we tilt this, you can see as we move that in there, I hope you can see that, he looks like he's going to be covered up with snowdrifts, but when you move this movable feast in here, you'll be able to see him in full. Does that make sense? Okay, I hope that makes sense. It looks good to us. And then I've got the tree at the background there. Then you could put some splatters on the back here. So I've got my Wink of Stella handy somewhere in my tray. I think that one. This one, I believe. No, that's white. Let's do something else. What's that first one I had? So this one here. So we know that splatters. So we want to put some splatters in the sky here. So as I always teach you to squeeze this first to get the ink into the reservoir. That's not the newest one, just a sec. Trouble is having so many and knowing which one's got the ink in it. So let's try this one. No, that's running out as well. I used it the other day, that's crazy. Oh, that's got some water in it. That's definitely got some in there. Look. So I'm just going to hold this on here, and I'm going to tap it with my Tombow, with one with a lid on it, and I'm just going to put some splatters on here. Just tap that over, so we'll get some nice little glittery sparkles. Okay. We can also touch this along the edge of our snowbank if we wanted to add a little bit more on there. Just so we just put some more sparkle on there. Squeeze it if you think it needs some more getting into the nib. Just going to put that on there, and also you can just scribble some lines like where the snowdrifts would be as well. So that's good. Very, very subtle, but there's our background, so it's looking good. And then this one's going to come onto the front, so this one's going to go this way round, like so. And like I say, when you open it up, you'll be able to see all the little pieces. So we're going to do this way round, and then we're going to tear these down a little while. I will put some Tombow along here shortly, but before we do that, I just want to get my greeting sorted. I'm going to use the Wishing You, is this Wishing You a Festive Christmas. Again, this one's been used an awful lot and it's very stained, bless it. It's been hard worked hard, should I say. I was just looking for anything smaller than that might be. No, I think that'll be fine, because we're going to put this across this corner, I think, because the tree is that side, we're going to use it this side. So another piece of our narrow card, our white scraps. Oh, I've got one there. It's a little bit wide. Let's just see what else I can find in my pot. No, they're all similar kind of width. So we can trim a little piece off this one. I'm going to stamp it in the red. Okay, the cherry cobbler. So tap, tap, tap. And I'm going to stamp this towards one side. If you're going to trim it down, you know you're going to trim it down. I line the bottom of the stamp fairly straight along one edge. If you stick it in the middle, you're going to have to cut 4 different sides. You're going to have to cut top, bottom, right and left. Whereas if you put it down a corner, so it's got the bottom is the right width for you, then you could just got to cut the top and then snip ends as applicable. Okay, so I've got my little trimmer here, and I'm going to cut this one through. So I want it about the same both sides. Depends on how I go, I might end up making the ends, one of the ends flat. So I'm trying to get this as straight as I can. I'm going to use one of my ridges in here, which I've talked about before in the trimmer, and that's clear of the words, so I'm going to make sure that I keep that one nice and straight. And there is our sentiment. Now, because that's closer than this one, I am going to just pop that in there a little bit to the other side and take a little tiny bit off the bottom. Okay, and then we get a beautifully straight sentiment. Okay, so that's looking good. Just really next a case of how long we'd like this to be. That's going to come in there like so. It will only be fixed on the middle section here. So this I think needs to be cut shorter. Okay, I haven't made one of these up today, so I've just rough cut to get the measurements. And then this end, similarly, keep that square this time. Okay, because we're not going to adhere all of it down, then that's just going to make that sit there like so. Now we've kept this fairly plain today because I'm going to put the greeting on the front. Okay, so it gives it some dimension. I won't put anything on the outside edges. I'm literally just going to fix it in the middle there. Okay, if you want to, we could put some strips of our, I've got some of the gold, these are the nice pretty papers. I'm just trying to find a piece that's the right size. Some strips. I did have strips in here. So this one here, this would be the right depth on here. So I'm thinking that would just add a little bit of detail just to those outside edges. So if I measure those, I know that these were 1/2 inch. So if we're doing 1/2 inch, we want to come down, how should we do this one? I can mark this on the back. Look. We can do this with a ruler and then mark with a little pencil mark where we want the cut lines to be. So I will get a pencil from here, or a pen, because I'm doing it on the back. And 1/2 inch, I want it to be 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so I want it that little bit smaller. So I'm going to do one there, and then 1, 2, 3/8. I'm going to do one there, 1, 2, 3/8. I'm going to do one there, and 1, 2, 3/8. And I'm going to do one there. So I'm actually going to cut 4 strips, and they'll just be on these 4 sides. Okay, so we pop this in here. And we line these up. I'm going to line them up on the bottom this time so that you can see them. I can see this blade, the pen line onto the cutting plate rather than worrying about up the top there where I can't see it very well. That's going to cut perfectly. Cut the next one on that pen line, second, and again it's right on the cutting line. You can see it quite straightforward, and the top is always straight, and you should get 4 pieces all nice and even, and that can go back in my scrap. Okay, so we've got 4 pieces here, so if I keep those 2 and 2, then these will fit, get them up, on the sides here. I'm going to do them singly before I stick them on, stick them together, sorry. So I'm going to put those on the side edges. It just brings some attention to it and adds some detail. Okay, so I'm going to put that down the centre here. Get it started. And there we go, and that one can go there. And just get it, slide it, because it's wet adhesive, PVA, you can actually slide it into place till you're happy. And then same on the second strip. Tiny little drizzle down the middle, and then on that front page. That over. There we go. They do slide nicely, so you can keep those together like so, and then these two as well. I think they latch onto each other, don't they? Which way round did they go? I was trying to get them in run. If you cut them in a straight line where you've got 4 pieces together, you can actually get them to line up quite nicely. Okay, so this is the next one along. In the centre, make sure that adheres. There we go. And then down that one. Okay. There we go. And there is my diorama card. There we go. So that's going to attach the 2 pieces together now, just on the sides there. And then we have that, and we're going to make the sentiment fit nicely. So just going to put around the outside edge there. I like to do one at a time, so I've got to take my time to line them up properly. So one on there. Okay, line them all up nice and square, and hold that down. Just press it and hold it. Make sure that you're happy it's setting properly. And then that's that side. And then this one, I'm just going to pop the adhesive on one of these. It doesn't matter which one. So this one's easier to get to now. Okay, and then pop this one down. Dioramas have been around quite a while, you know. It's not something I do lots of. I haven't done one for a long while. And I wanted to make this card that this was the measurements that she'd got already. This one I liked because it just goes in the envelopes flat. So I'm going to flatten this one. It's exactly the same as you would a normal card with layers on it. It's just instead of opening, it pops. Okay, so these side pieces will pop and it will give you a little scene in there. So you can decorate those just as you like. And like I said, you can see the truck, you can see the wheels because the snow comes forward. Okay, if you've got some more gems, you can put some more sparklies at the back there. I've got the festive greeting to go on here. Because this is the side I've got the gap, I'm just going to pop that there. I would actually, me being me, I would like to just snip these ends. They look a bit too plain for me. So I'm going to snip there, okay, and have tiny little banners each end. So it's going to come into the centre, throw that piece away, and into the centre. And again, pop that piece away, and the same this side. Okay, so that can be there. Okay, and then this can be there as well. Okay, like so. So just got some little banners, you know I like those. So glasses up, and I'm just going to pop that in there. So it's going to extend beyond there, and it's going to extend beyond there. I just want the glue to be on this little piece here. Just that little piece in the middle. Nothing coming out yet. There we go, just on there. Don't go beyond because you'll find that it will stick to parts it doesn't want to stick to. Okay, so I'm going to press that on there. Just turn it over and make sure that I'm free of glue. So I think I am. Yeah, that's fine. Just bring that over a little fraction. Okay, and there's my little sentiment. Now I really like that. I hope you do too. I'm just going to look for my gems. Who's still online with me? Just straighten the camera up, look. Okay, where have we got some nice sparklies? I think it will have to be these ones. These gold ones are a little bit too big for this project, I think. I might have some little ones at the top there though. Let me have a look in here. I don't think I'll get 2 cards done tonight. I think I'll save the other one for Wednesday. It's a very quick one, but maybe I'll do some more. So to have a few quick ones. These go with these papers here, but I think in here we want some clear. I think they're a bit too glitzy. So I'm going to take some of the clear gems here. Excuse me, and just dot some round. You can pop some in the sky here, so you've got a shooting star maybe there. And you can just pop some around the randomly. So I'll put 3 on here, I think, like so. Okay, in fact, go for 5, look. We don't want symmetrical, we want to keep them random. So now I'll stick one above there, above the greeting. And there, I think we have got our diorama card. So how do we like that? Is that something different that you haven't seen lately? And it's just a cute little card. And I wanted to prove it does go in a standard size envelope. And here is my envelope here. So there's the envelope. And because I've remembered tonight, I am going to decorate the envelope. Okay, I'm putting glue on here and I just hope I've got a piece big enough on the table. Ooh, let's see what we've got. We've got those leaves, haven't we? These ones here. Oops, a daisy. Now I haven't got enough here, but this is a good example to show you. Maybe I'll do a different one. I didn't bring the whole packet across. I'm going to do this one. So this is a good example to show you when we haven't got the whole width in one piece. So I'm going to quickly just take a strip of the cardstock. It's a narrow random strip like so. Again, using a scrap. I'm going to put that one across. That's not quite long enough. I know I've got some in here that are. Those ones are definitely long enough. So I want to just snip it off roughly at the length. So I want it the width of my envelope. So I want it to be to there. Okay, and I'm going to cut myself a length on the big trimmer. So we want it about halfway along there. So I'm going to do this about, yeah, maybe 1 inch and a bit. That's nice and straight. piece off. And then this just bridges the gap when you don't have a piece big enough to fill your card. So this is going to go there. It's going up to the crease line but not over it. So that's going to come on first. And then we will just check if we've got a piece of this wide enough. That's still not quite wide enough, is it? So we'll go back to the checks. Okay, these are going to be long enough. And then butt that one up there and butt it up there. Okay, so we're doing exactly the same again as we've done before. We just press that down onto the flap. Okay, nice and secure. And then we'll turn it over, and with our snips we'll just cut around that like so. Okay, so this is just fussy cutting. We could take the large scissors actually and just rough cut down there. And then pop that back in the tray over there. And then finish this off by hand nice and neatly. And come around the corner. How I thought I was going to get 2 in 1, I don't know. But then I did have a false start, so I think I might have contributed to the fact. Okay, so we're just cutting around the edge of there. And then we'll turn that corner. And come around here like so. Okay, so that's all done and dusted. And there is our envelope, and there is our fancy flap on the back. Okay, perfect for there. Sometimes what I do like to do is actually, I don't like a solid line like that. I sometimes like to just put a little tiny little wafer bit through the middle. So this is a white card, so I don't like to mix white and cream, but sometimes it's that old adage that like blue and green should never be seen. Something like that I think would be too wide perhaps. But if I'd got a tiny little strip in here, I would do that. I don't think I've got any small enough for what I want. Might be one piece in. No, that's not big enough. Anyway, you get the, oh, there's a piece. That's the one. That is the one, but it's not quite long enough. But if you've got a piece that's just kind of like that, we can actually get that just through the centre. With all my scraps in here, you'd think I would have the right size piece. See that one? Oh, even that one's only just, but I think we're going to do that one and just go for it. Okay, it's not quite there. I can maybe put a little gem or something on the ends. There we go. And then to bridge that gap, it just doesn't look so nice with a rough and a rough. But if you just drizzle that through the centre of that line, not quite to the ends because we know it's a fraction short, and then stick this through the middle. It just bridges that gap. Okay, the majority of people would not know that wasn't quite long enough to the ends. There we go. You know I like to use those little pieces, but it makes the envelope look so much nicer. And there is our card. So I hope you stayed with me to the end. Awesome. Oh, bless you, Frances. Need to make a birthday card. You might use that method. Absolutely. It's really nice, simple card. It's just a case of how you decorate it. So it's just a few score lines, nothing difficult about it. But what I do like is my S inside there. You're kind of doing a bit of a combination of a bendy card and a diorama together, because this piece is actually bending. It's going to go flat in your envelope, but when you bend it, it can go that way, this way, wherever, however you choose to put it up. Okay, like so. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that tonight. I'm just going to bring you back to me, take that off and bring you back to me. Apologies for the false start. I was talking to myself and it wasn't filming properly. But we got there in the end. And I will see you back here again on Wednesday at 9 o'clock. Don't forget all the offers I've mentioned before that are going on at the moment. The starter kit is still fabulous value. If you wanted to join my team, £160 worth of your shopping list for just £99. And the kits are still on offer. I haven't looked today to see which ones are still available or if any have sold out, but they are all on discount, up to 30%. So the kits are definitely worth looking at. And yeah, lots of other things going on as well. So yes, do keep in touch. And send me a message if there's anything you are interested in adding to my order. Okay, so